Good morning. I want to welcome you this morning to the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting for today, November 26, 2013. President Dar, Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 2, and myself, we have a quorum. Under open forum, Mr. Garza.
Yes, sir. I wanted to give the board a status report. We have a meeting scheduled today at noon in Mission with a representative from IBWC. This is not the meeting that the board is requesting with the commissioner and our state or representatives. This is a meeting with the principal engineer. There will be some representatives there from Senator Cornyn, Congressman Cuellar, Congressman Vela, and ourselves. I believe the judge's office has been informed. I believe the judge are going to try to attend, or one of your staff members is trying to attend for the meeting to give us an update of where we're at on the Peñitas closure. We'll come back to the court and report on Tuesday as to what the status is on the pump structure in that section of the levee that has not been completed yet.
Judge, do we have anything on Hollis updates?
No, well, his contract's expired, so I don't think he's going to be coming and giving us any.
I think his contract expires this coming month, Judge. His contract's still in effect for, I think, another month.
I think it was the end of October.
October? Okay, sir. Then if he's not here, I will present to the board. I believe he was going to attend the meeting today at noon, but I will ask him if he can come out of courtesy to give the board a report on it.
I mean, Godfrey knows all the facts surrounding this issue.
Well,
Make sure you take the letters that they sent us, we sent them, and went back and forth. So
Okay, sir.
my concern is a meeting has been requested with IBWC. Have a status of,
Yeah, it's set for 12 o'clock today.
no. The request was something different.
Yes,
Meeting with the commission.
the request that was made by this board to the congressional leadership was that a meeting be held directly with the IBWC commissioner, yourselves, and also the representatives.
Thank you, Steve.
But I will brief the board next Tuesday, and I'll put it as a discussion item. That way we can further evaluate the situation.
All right, sir. Our consent agenda, any concerns?
No, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 4.
Item 4A, requesting approval of final negotiation agreement with Leonel Garza Jr. and Associates for appraisal services that relates to the Mission Inlet recertification property evaluation approved by the Hidalgo County Drainage Number 1 Board of Directors for negotiation on November 5th, 2013. This is that one property that we're looking at releasing the easement on that we needed to get it appraised in order to put a value on that easement.
So moved.
Second.
That's for 4A.
Yes, sir.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 4B, requesting approval of final negotiated agreement for professional engineering services with Half Associate Inc. as it relates to the repair and rehabilitation of 2 weir projects, North Main Drain Weir Number 1 and Main Floodwater Channel Weir Number 4, approved by the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 Board of Directors for negotiation on December 3rd, 2013.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, pursuant to the board's approval of the agreement for professional engineering service with Half Associate Inc., requesting approval of the following work authorizations. Can I read them all, Mr. Crane?
Yes.
Work authorization run with Half Associate Inc. as it relates to the professional surveying services for North Main Drain Weir Number 1 in the amount of $14,760.28. Number 2, work authorization number 2 with Half Associates Inc. as it relates to professional engineering services for the North Main Drain Weir Number 1 in the amount of $98,270.14. 3, work authorization number 3 with Half Associates Inc. as it relates to the professional geotech services for the North Main Drain Weir Number 1 in the amount of $38,100. 4, work authorization number 4 with Half Associate Inc. as it relates to the professional surveying services for Main Floodwater Channel Weir Number 4 in the amount of $14,760.28. Work authorization number 5 with Half Associate Inc. as it relates to professional engineering services for Main Floodwater Channel Weir Number 4 in the amount of $98,270. 6, work authorization number 6 with Half Associate Inc. as it relates to the professional geotech services for Main Floodwater Channel Weir Number 4 in the amount of $38,100.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, requesting approval to accept the bids and construction contract to the lowest bidder meeting all required specifications for RFB number 8C-DD1 13-014-0508 Alamo Expressway Drain/Border Crossing Improvements to Texas Concordia Construction, the amount of $381,968.40. We had 10 bidders on this project, so we've been getting very good responses in the projects that we've gone out for bid. This will be the second one that we've had the amount of 10 bidders on, and that is the lowest bid with the recommended from the engineer.
Move for approval?
Second.
Where is the money coming from?
This is coming out of our general fund for this particular project. It's one of the road crossings that's in precinct number 2 that we're working with the commissioner on. He is doing the roadway improvements, and we are doing the improvements on the crossing itself.
Are we getting money from that fund where we may need to tap and for purposes of
No, sir.
working on the Peñitas problem?
No, sir, this is out of our
Or
regular
what
fund.
about the
It's not coming out of the bond
litigation?
money, and it's not coming out of any other resources
All
that
right.
we've got. This is our regular operational funds.
Those in favor of the motion is made and seconded indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, requesting approval of work authorization number 16 with S&B Infrastructure LTD as relates to the master drainage system, Phase 2 Raymondville Drain Outfall System. This is based on the presentation that we've done to the Board of Directors. This is a segment in Hidalgo County. The funds associated with this project are also not coming from any of the funds that are supposedly tied up into the potential Peñitas or any other legal mitigation we've got. This is out of our regular bond system project, and it is in the amount of $3,007,000 and change.
How
This-
much is the amount again?
3 million, hold on, sir. $3,007,286. This is for engineering, for land acquisition, geotech, surveying, and design associated with the segment within Hidalgo County.
And are those monies coming from where?
They're coming out of our bond issue, sir. They're not coming out of any fund balance. They're not coming out of the 2006. We're not issuing the next phase of it until we find out what we're doing on Peñitas, or we're waiting for the final determination for the Water Development Board on those $10 million.
But they're coming from where, though?
Our bond issue, 2013, sir, where we had $10 million allocated under the Rainville Drain.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
5, requesting approval to advertise RFB number HC-DD1 13-031-1220, lease of land approximately 180 acres for the purpose of farming. This is the land that we have acquired next to the Edinburgh Airport, that we're putting it out for lease until we're able to start beginning of construction. We've done this similar in years in the past. I believe the county is going to have another item on land that they have also around the Edinburgh Airport. And we'll be coming back to this board also probably in about 2 weeks to lease some other land on the ponds that we bought from Hidalgo County. What it does is allows us to not have to shred and maintain the land. Either we can lease it out and we can rent it out for pasture, which somebody can go and cut the grass and bale the hay associated with it. And on the one by the Edinburgh Airport, it's for farming purposes, which is what the land is for at this time.
What's the length of the lease?
We do it for 1-year leases with options of 1 year continuous on it, Commissioner. That gives the ability for when we're ready to have a project under construction, we don't catch a farmer with a crop out in the field and so forth.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 6, approval of invoice number 2 for FJW Construction LLP as it relates to the mile 17 and a half road improvement project as per interlocal agreement with Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1, Hidalgo County, McAllen, and Edinburgh School District. Final amount due is $176,022.65. These are part of the projects that we have in interlocal for the opening of 17 and a half. Basically, it's a canal siphon that's being constructed with reimbursables coming in from the school district in McAllen. I believe Commissioner Palacios has another interlocal with the city of McAllen for the actual roadway itself.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7, discussion, consideration, authorization to maintain the TCDRS plan provisions for plan year 2014. I believe this is a standard item that's on the agenda also for the county for us to maintain the regular retirement program that the district has. I don't know if,
The county has adopted this.
Laura?
That-
I'll let Laura Briones explain that for you, Commissioner. As a financial officer, she should have an idea of what the item is.
We're maintaining the same plan provisions as last year. There's no increase to, I talked to Sergio, there's no increases to the regular retirement, and no changes were made to the provisions.
It's
So-
the same plan that.
Yes, yes. I believe our rate is about 11.12, I believe that we pay.
One of the items that I'd like to bring to the board maybe next year is that there's a different retirement time between the districts and the counties, and I don't know why. One is 8 years, another one is 10 years. And I think we need to get them blended back into the same time to match everybody. But I don't know how that'll impact, because I believe the districts' input into the retirement plan is a little bit higher than the counties. And I think it was done way before my time to do a catch-up on what they've had in there. But I'll bring that to the board next year sometime when it's due for renewal.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We have no item under closed session this board unless the board wishes.
Godfrey, I still have a question on that engineering fee of $3 million.
Yes, sir.
How much work is that going to cover?
That's going to cover the final design associated with the Hidalgo segment. That's going to provide all the required surveying, the notification of the landowners. It's going to provide all of the geotech for all the actual design associated. And this is just for the Hidalgo segment as we presented to this board. We're not moving to the Willacy until we get the rest of the money from the Water Development Board.
So everything within the boundaries of Hidalgo County, that will be
Yes, sir.
paid for with that $3 million?
Yes, sir.
Godfrey, what's the timeline on the Water Development Board on that?
The
last-
Water Development Board sent a letter, and we forwarded it to the commissioners, in which they're sending this coming month in December the notification for us to apply. So we're anticipating a notification in December with funds available probably in January or February, Commissioner, of those $5.7 million is what they have recovered to date.
Okay. And at that time, we'll engage to take.
We'll go into the Willacy County segment, sir.
Okay.
Have we acquired the property they're going to be working on?
No, sir, we've acquired part of the property, but we've got right of entries on the property all the way from Edinburgh Lake to Willacy County. About 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we started moving forward on delineating and doing some crossings or some topo all the way to Willacy County. So we have right of entries on all the projects associated with it. And we have a meeting next week with El South Ranch and Delta Irrigation District to finalize the agreement with them for the usage of their particular drain ditch going forward.
Are there any environmental issues out there?
So far, all of the environmental documents that we have shows no item in there. Whatever mitigation we've got is in a mitigation plan as far as offsetting some of the wetland issues. But right now, there's no critical faults on any of the reports we've got.
Have we got that area protected from development?
Basically, the area is protected because we have adopted, the board has adopted the preliminary route. Until we finalize that route with the Corps' document, we cannot fully protect the land. But the majority of the project from Hargill to Laguna Madre itself is an existing channel. So basically, that is protected by the easement that's there right now.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is anything in the executive?
Not at this time, sir. We're still waiting on some information from legal on some of that other item.
All right, sir. Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge Commissioners.
We've got about 5 minutes before we start the regular meeting. Good morning. We want to welcome you again to this regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today, November 26, 2013. Present our Commission of Cuellar Precinct 1, Palacios Precinct 2, Palacios Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we gather today during the season of Thanksgiving. We're mindful of the many blessings you have bestowed on our land. We thank you for our freedom, and we're thankful for those who have given of themselves to defend this freedom. Thank you for the bountiful harvests and the rain of the past few days. We ask you to bless our families and friends. Bless former Commissioner Oscar Garza. Bless us gathered here today. May we always do what is best for the people of Hidalgo County. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Ofracio, any concerns?
Yes, Judge, I would like to ask that consent agenda item 11F, as in Frank, be pulled for discussion.
Move for approval, excluding 11F.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I don't know if purchasing is going to address that or not. The Count Benji.
Good morning. Vanjie Garcia on behalf of Marty Salazar, the Purchasing Department. Do you have a concern on that one, Mr. Flacio?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a concern on the 11A?
Yes, 11F, the purchase order number referenced on the agenda caption is incorrect.
Okay.
I think the correct purchase order number should be 698661, and that is reflected in the supporting documentation.
It is reflected under the background, but he is correct. There was an error on the caption of the purchase order, so I'm just clarifying that it is correct under the background.
You can get it approved,
And I need an
subject
action.
to the correction.
Move for approval, subject to correction.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We're going to move to item 6 and then come back to 5. Item 6A.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Karina Cardosa with the Public Affairs Office. Item 6A reads approval of the UTPA Academic Partnerships Initiative for Hidalgo County employees. It's item A1. At this point, I'd like to introduce Ms. Ida Cavazos Lindau. She is a Executive Director of Academic Partnerships to discuss this amazing opportunity for Hidalgo County employees. Ms. Ida?
Good morning. Thank you so much for that introduction, Karina. I'm Ida Cavazos Lindau, and I represent University of Texas Pan American Academic Partnerships Division, and I'm really excited to be here today to just let you know a little bit about what we're doing at our business school at UTPA through this academic outreach initiative. My role is to work with local municipalities, local businesses, and local government, and form an academic partnership between the employer and the university. And really, there's some great benefits to doing that, and I'm just really excited that I went first to Mr. Valdeguerra, and he saw the value of that, and that is why I'm here today. A little bit about the degrees that I represent to municipalities and the local businesses in the Rio Grande Valley are the Masters of Business Administration and a Masters of Public Administration. And these are fully online degrees. They're ideal for the working adult. We have 6 different start dates a year. So this is not your traditional type of setting, which you would have a fall and a spring semester, but you're able to do this online, so you have several start dates. There's 36 credit hours. There's 12 courses per degree. They're about 7 weeks each, so this is what we call the online accelerated. There's about 1 week in between the course where they have a break. The MBA can be finished within a short 12 months if they take 2 courses at a time. The MPA, the Master's in Public Administration, can be completed in 24 months. So a little bit about the MBA, the Master's in Business Administration. Of course, this is great for somebody who maybe already works like a finance department or is already maybe in accounting type of a setting. Maybe they have, their goal is to maybe one day become an entrepreneur and start their own business. So there's an array of people that can do this that would be a great candidate for that MBA. We're also fully accredited by the Association Advanced Collegiate of Schools of Business, and maybe some of you might say, well, what is that really? But what I want to say is that this takes a lot of effort from our faculty and staff to be fully accredited, and I just want to say that we're in great company because other universities that are fully accredited by the AACSB are universities like Harvard, like Stanford, and Columbia University. So those are just some things that are a little bit more relatable to everybody. So the tuition's really affordable, and if the Hidalgo County would like to partner with UTPA, that would be great. For non-member tuition for an MBA is $14,500. And for a member tuition, if Hidalgo County would like to become an affiliate member, any employee that would take this MBA fully online would then pay $12,500. So there's a $2,000 discount for the MBA. And of course, we also have the MPA fully online, the Master's in Public Administration, which is of course, appeals so much for our local municipalities and local governments. And this is just for somebody who really may already have a position within a public sector, but really wants to be able to polish their leadership type skills and be able to see the broader picture of things to really move your municipality to a different level. So this program can really offer that to anyone who wants to develop those leadership skills to properly serve the public and have a successful public sector career. We also have affordable tuition for that, and for a member tuition, you're looking at $11,500 as opposed to the non-member tuition that's for $13,500. So for an MPA, you're looking at about someone who's interested paying about $958 per course. So what is the communication plan, and really what does that mean for Hidalgo County? The things that are really important to my municipalities and anyone I partner with, because that's my role, is there is no cost to make these degrees available to your employees. We have a partnership letter that I do believe maybe Karina has passed around. This is not a legally bound document. It's just a document that really tells you my role and you know your role, and it's just something that protects both of us. So we provide that announcement letter that you send out to your employees, so we make that easy. We send you what you need to send out. We create that for you. We also create a benefits web portal with your logo at no cost to you, and we hold information sessions to inform your employees and answer questions regarding those degrees, like specifics, like admission requirements, start dates, and things of that nature. And I'm really the person that also sets those things up, whether it would be through Valdez Department or whoever Judge Garcia would like for me to proceed. So thank you so much for allowing me to present this brief academic outreach, and I hope that there will be a partnership within our future, and I'm really excited to be here. Thanks so much. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to take some at this point.
We need an action on it to approve.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
this, the agreement requires the designation of a program coordinator.
Yes, sir. That really just means a point of contact is probably a fancy word, but it's just a point of contact. That could be Karina, that could be Mr. Valdeguerra, or anyone in his office. And it would be really me just coordinating with them. And wherever they want to hold a session within Hidalgo County, I'd be happy to work with them.
Why don't we designate someone if it's required? Valde? I don't-
Where did Valde go?
You want to designate Valde Guerra, Judge?
Is Valde my point of contact, sir?
Monday?
Will Valde be my point of contact?
Well, I was going to ask him what he thought.
Okay.
Well, that's what he gets for living in the room.
Judge, our office will be available to help coordinate these meetings for employees and information sessions so that they'll be able to learn about the program and the advantages.
That's Valde, Judge.
What's going to be that coordinator's role?
It's really to allow me to come in and just conduct presentations, and we send out that announcement, which I provide for his department, and all he's got to do is send a mass email, and we coordinate a date, a time. It's normally never more than an hour long, just to let them know of the requirements and talk about the degrees, and that's pretty much it, really. It's having, allowing me to come in and do presentations from time to time, and they're probably less than an hour.
Would that be better, like, for Karina or something to do that? I think it's,
I'm sorry, what?
would that be better for Karina to do that instead of Valde,
It's up to you guys, whatever y'all want to do.
What do you think, Valde?
I'd be happy to work with either, sir.
Commissioner, I'd be happy to be the go-between, or Karina, again, either one of us. We're still representing the employees and the county. So, again, this is the coordinator position, in essence, is to facilitate.
Right. It's just the communication, so
It's
I'd be
just
happy to work
facilitating the communication.
with Karina if
You
that's your
think you got
choice
the
to
time,
do
that's
that.
fine.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Second.
For Karina, to approve the partnership initiative and for Karina to be the coordinator.
Karina?
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
The second item, item 6A2, is actually along the same lines in celebration of this partnership. We have been invited by UTPA to join them at a men's basketball game sometime next year for Hidalgo County Employee Night. What they'll do is they're going to give us group rates for employees who are interested in going and attending, and they will acknowledge and announce the employees and recognize them there at the game. So I think it would be a really great event for employees to participate, kind of boost employee morale and support our local university here. So that will be on February 20th, 2014, and we will provide that information to the employees and make sure that everyone knows about this. Thank you very much.
All right. Next item is 6B, the report from the Rio South Texas Economic Council.
Yes, Judge, Commissioners. Jaime Longoria from the County Judge's Office. We have a report from Rio South Texas Economic Council. Here today we have Ms. Alma Coletti. She is the Executive Director of Restec, together with Steve Elanius, who is the Chairman of Restec, and Mr. Keith Patridge. Alma?
Judge, Commissioners, thank you so much for the time to come and give you an update on Restec. We're going to do this in a two-part process. Keith Patridge is going to give you just a very short history of Restec, just as a reminder of where we've been and how far we've come. And then we'd like to also then give you what the plans are for this coming year.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. Just to give you a little background on the Rio South Texas Economic Council, it actually is the new organization that came out of a group that we put together. The cities in Hidalgo County, the cities of Fars, Mission, Edinburgh, and McAllen, and Hidalgo had come together back in the mid-1990s to form what was called the Rio South Texas, or the South Texas Border Partnership. And it existed really, it was created specifically for a joint marketing effort to market the region of Hidalgo County as a unit, and really to start allowing the individual economic development groups to pool their money to promote the whole region together. When Judge J.D. Salinas took office, he approached us about extending that to include the smaller cities in Hidalgo County, and he wanted to make it county-wide. And at that point, as we started working on putting what is now the Rio South Texas Economic Council together, we were looking at bringing it as a county-wide promotional organization to market the county as an entity. Shortly after word got out that what we were doing, we were approached by the city of Harlingen and the city and the port of Brownsville, as well as some of the other cities in Cameron County that came in and says we would also like to join as a regional marketing effort. And so that's really what created the Rio South Texas Economic Council. And it was also partially responsible for our getting the wired funding, which was a $5 million grant from the federal government that really allowed us to promote the area and to form what we call the NAMRI, which is the North American Advanced Manufacturing Research and Education Initiative. And that really allowed us to make a lot of strides moving forward on research and development efforts in the community. What we're coming to you today for is to ask for your continued support of ResTech, and Steve will now talk a little bit about where we're headed for this year. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
I think, Judge, Commissioner, I think all of us realize some of the challenges we face for this region, and obviously it's fighting or dealing with the negative perception that other parts of the state and the nation have about this region. And so we are going to be launching a national campaign to really kind of counter some of the negative images and the stories that are coming out of this region about our different communities. And so the idea is to, the first challenge is to give us an opportunity to help us change that image through social media and a national campaign. And then the second part is in telling a positive story about the different successes that we've had in this area, whether it's the low cost of living, the great opportunities for manufacturing, and then also with the creation of the new university and the medical school, one of the challenges that we continue to hear from different employers is the ability to attract white-collar professionals to this region. And so part of this effort is going to be also telling those stories about the success of local businesses in attracting white-collar professionals to the region. I have good news and better news. The good news, this past year we had a very successful year. The better news for you as elected official is that we have cut the dues from $30,000 to $17,500 for entities such as the county and some of the larger cities. We've also reduced the rates or the membership dues for some of the smaller committees with the intent and purposes of making up that income as part of this national campaign with local businesses and sponsors, because we have there's a lot of partnerships out there and a lot of different entities that would benefit from this campaign that we're looking to launch. The firm that we've retained is DCI out of Washington, D.C., a very well-known national marketing firm that deals in crisis management and messaging. And so we're excited about what this program is going to offer starting in January. We'd be happy to try to answer any questions that you might have.
How much money does it take to fund the program?
The campaign that we're looking at, Judge, is going to be about $200,000 a year. And our plans are to use a bulk of the money that we have from dues, which of course doesn't cover the whole thing, but then to raise the rest of the money through partnerships and sponsorships.
The money you collect from dues are from members in both Hidalgo and Cameron?
Yes, sir.
Are we in line with what everybody else is paying?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? If there's no questions, I'd entertain a motion. Well, we got a report, that's what we did. Let's move on to item B2.
Item B2, Judge, is discussion and approval of the service agreement for Rio South Texas Economic Council pursuant to Local Government Code, Section 381.004. Judge, Commissioners, the agreement has been reviewed by legal, Deborah Getz and Mr. Steve Crane, and it is, I think the major change, of course, was the difference in the dues. So,
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
item number 3, Judge, approval of the 2014 membership dues for Rio South Texas Economic Council in the amount of $17,500 with the authority for the county treasurer to issue payment after review and auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Go ahead and take item 6B, approval to authorize Mr. Valdeguerra, Executive Officer, to sign documents pertaining to vehicle title and vehicle registration as required by Texas Department of Motor Vehicles.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Let me go back now to item 5, open forum. First presenter is Fern McClarity.
My question today is on 20B1. I figured I'd do it in open forum because most of the time, by the time I'm acknowledged, you've already voted on it. My question is, what happened to all the equipment that Sylvia Handy bought? Every time Oscar had to have equipment, we were in the room and my precinct's got to have the same ones. What happened to all that equipment? We don't quite understand. I know that we need equipment, but why? What happened to hers? Thank you.
Next presenter is Opal Billman.
Good morning. My name is Opal Billman. Becoming an owner by adverse possession and issuing a divorce are not the same thing. If the owner is in possession, no person can acquire adverse possession. My confinement for 17 years is to prevent me from possessing my land. I have reported this ongoing crime for 17 years. Utmost importance for becoming an owner by adverse possession is possession and time. Common law gives the owner 20 years to bring action against an adverse possessor. As the owner, I must be diligent in bringing action against an adverse possessor. My diligence is a matter of record which cannot be faulted. When our land was not included in the court-ordered divorce settlement, I filed an appeal with the 13th Appellate Court. I filed complaints with the FBI, the state of Texas through the state attorney general, and Secretary of State. I complained to Hidalgo County, the 275th District Court, the district attorney, the city of Mission, and the police department of Mission. I voiced concerns about homeland security and all kinds of gangs or groups seeking finder's fees, and I paid an attorney $1,000 to file actions to get the trespassers off my land. The lawyer told me he checked it out and could not help me. I have been up and down the streets of McAllen to lawyers' offices only to be told that's not what we do. I have also called about 15 lawyers in Corpus Christi only to be told that's not what they do either. The court took possession of my land in a petition for divorce. Under law, my freedom from the police-enforced false imprisonment would leave me in possession of my land. There would be no adverse possessor if I were not being prevented by police from being on land that I own. My confinement makes the adverse possessor possible, and my confinement is being done by the refusal of the judge to follow the law and dismiss this case as of April 24, 2003, and also an order from the court that cannot be legally activated until the divorce is final, which did not happen. The judge had the legal authority to divide our land and give it back to us. The judge does not have the legal authority to seize possession of all of our land in a divorce action. The judge has no legal right to use the crime of false imprisonment to take and keep our land by making it available for adverse possession. Actions of the court are obstruction of justice, unconstitutional, unlawful, un-American, and lacking in both integrity and honesty.
You have about 45
I would
seconds.
take legal actions against this kangaroo court for being an unlawful adverse possession, but the court will not allow it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next presenter is Commissioner Cuellar.
Yes, I just wanted to take a little time to, we had a situation came up on one of our collection sites in Monte Alto, and I want to thank the Commissioner, Precinct 2, Precinct 3, and 4. They all came together with Precinct 3, with their staff and equipment, and took care of the situation. So I would really want to thank them for all their help, and we got it all taken care of. So thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, sir, thank you. Next presenter is Frank Travers.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Virginia quite recently has told you that she might address you every week on are you able to save money, come closer to resolving the budget problems. Since she can't be here today, I thought maybe I could put a word in. Just an observation as a citizen and from a distance, it seems like we have a very, very large amount of consulting efforts going on, which cost money. I would ask that we probably have a couple of questions that should be asked before any consultant is hired. Could the staff do this job just as well? In many cases, we look back afterwards, the consultant has to gather money within the county, within your organization, and the staff winds up doing a lot of this work. In many cases, they could perhaps make a valuable contribution without the additional consulting fees. It's hard to pick any particular job which really could have been defined as not necessary before the fact, but there are a lot of them. I would hope that you would ask, one, is it necessary at all? Number two, how would business proceed no matter what the result of that consultant's opinion might be? And number two, could the staff really do the job and give them a chance at least at first? I'm not sure whether this will be productive, but I thought I would at least present it to you. Thank you very much.
Next presenter is Justin Lewis.
I'd like to thank the commissioners and judge for allowing us a few minutes to bring up an opportunity that we think would be great for the employees of the county. I'd like to thank the commissioners and the judge. I'm Bill Stewart. I'm the owner of the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees Hockey Club, and we have a very special event coming up that we'd like to invite your employees out to attend with us on January 4th, Saturday, at the State Farm Arena. We're doing what we call a First Responders Recognition. It's a guns and hoses game where we bring out the police, the fire. They actually compete in games. It's a competition. There's a trophy, and we get our opportunity as a community to support the first responders. EMS will also be there, and it's a very fun time. And what we'd like to do with the employees of the county is to offer them, our average ticket price is about $16. And what we do for this event is we encourage counties and businesses to come out, and we offer a $10 ticket to the employees to come out at a discount to help them out and to help out have a very special weekend for the EMS and first responders at a Killer Bees game. Justin, you want to say anything?
Yeah, we would also thank you for having us this morning. Also want to extend out, we have certain types of posters and different departments from the Hidalgo County employees go beyond just January 4th, but after that we'd like to continue to offer discounted tickets to all the employees as an added benefit to your employees. I don't know what the best way to go about that, if, we need to do that individually through the department, but we would like to extend that opportunity for the employees. So, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item 7, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. There's no action under item 7A, 1 and 2, unless there's action to be taken further down the agenda. And there is nothing to report under item 7B, 1, 2, and 3. Let me take that back. Under item 7B3, Daniel, are you in the audience? Item 7B3, emergency situations occurring since last agenda meeting. Judge, Commissioners, Daniel, can you please give them a rundown as to what occurred yesterday at the courthouse and the remedies that have been taken?
Second floor, running Judge, Commissioners, Daniel Flores, Facility Management. Yesterday, we had an incident where one of the coils was turned on for one of the heaters. It had some lint on it, and it subsequently burned. It's just like your house. People smelled the smoke, called the fire department, and we had an issue at the courthouse. They evacuated it. After we went in and investigated, checked all of them that we had, they were all fine. They brought back everybody back into the courthouse at 1 o'clock, and it resumed operations.
Thank you, Daniel.
We've had the courthouse shut down how many times this month?
Twice, sir.
Twice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One was for the power outage complete, sir, and the other one was for this, sir.
And this second time, it was just about, what, 2.5 hours?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Judge, Commissioners, if I may, could the court consider taking item 12A, Health and Human Services? Mr. Olivares has a 10:30 hearing that he must attend on behalf of the county.
Before we do that, I wanted to find out about the administration building. I heard that Mr. Wilson, I don't know if he's here, he's our contractor, and he was complaining that we haven't given him the plans yet. I mean, we've been working on them for 1.5 years for the second story, or the first story, plans for the building.
I don't see Mr. Wilson in the audience.
Who's responsible, or who's in charge from our?
Alcocer, no?
Alcocer is Alcocer and Associates. But, Judge, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Palacios from Prodigy has already met with Mr. Wilson, and he's been given some direction to proceed with aspects of that renovation. But, Judge, I'll tell you what, let me make a phone call to Mr. Wilson and Mr. Palacios. Let me see what I can do before the end of this court session.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Let me go ahead then and move on to item 8, our constables. Oh, I'm sorry, you wanted item 12.
12A, yeah, he's going to attend a hearing for us on behalf of the county, and it is at 10:30.
Judge, Commissioners, I made an error, sir. We have a hearing here at 10:30.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I made the error. So at 10:30, just a reminder that we have our hospital funding district hearing here at 10:30.
Okay.
That's all.
We have a hearing today?
Yes, sir. It's on the agenda, sir.
All right. At this time, we're going to convene a public hearing to consider public comments concerning the amount of mandatory payments required to be paid by the paying hospitals for the year 2014 and how the revenue is to be spent. Oh, I thought it was 10:30. That's why you called him. Oh. Oh, okay. All right, let's move back on to the, to our constables. Item 8. You're going to be next, Paul.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners, Deputy Lozano of the Constable's Office. On behalf of Celestino Avila, we have one item on the agenda, authorization and approval to apply for the Local Border Security Program fiscal year 2014 grant with the Texas Homeland Security State Agency, Administrative Agency, Texas Department of Public Safety. That's item number 1.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And number 2, authorization for the county judge as authorized official to sign required documents.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Precinct 2, Constable.
Morning, Judge. Morning,
Good
Commissioners.
morning, Mr. Cantu.
Item 8B is a discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Andres Guzman Jr. as Reserve Deputy Constable by Martin Cantu, Constable, Precinct 2, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code, Section 86.012.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 8C is also the authorization and approval to apply for the Local Border Security Program, Fiscal Year 14 grant with Texas Homeland Security State Administrative Agency
So
with
moved.
DPS.
For 1 and 2, Commissioner.
Yes.
Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, sir.
And number 2 is authorization for county
Well,
judge
we
as
took
authorized.
care of it.
We took care of that.
Okay.
We took care of it at once.
Thank you. Wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and safe holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Constable. Paul, what's the number?
Number 11A.
All right, moving on to item 11A.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
It's an honor to be here before you. We're here to respectfully ask for your approval to execute an interlocal agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of FAR for the scufflaw vehicle registration denial services. Here with me, I have the Honorable Judge Rudy Martinez representing the City of FAR, Mayor Polo Palacios, and the Commissioners in this interlocal agreement that we want to put together with the City of FAR.
Good morning, Your Honor, Commissioners. Rudy
Morning, sir.
Martinez for the City of FAR Municipal Court, and we're here with the same request.
So moved.
Judge.
Yes.
We reviewed this agreement and suggested some modifications to the agreement, provided them to legal counsel, and I think they agreed that maybe there's a need for some of those to be made. So is it possible for you to approve it subject to legal review and approval?
To approve it subject to what?
Subject to legal review and approval?
It should be included, no problem.
I think Josephine wants to make a comment.
We've already had it reviewed.
And of course, Josie's from the D has been helping us out.
Judge, the only issue is that City of FAR has already reviewed and accepted and approved the existing version of the agreement. The recommended changes are not legally necessary. I think some of the issues that the auditor raised were attachments that were not provided, and I think those are working documents that the city and the tax office are working on. You can approve it as is. I think if necessary, we can come back later, but right now, I think we're not reinventing the wheel here. The scofflaw program is something that's been,
So we're going to be involved in collecting their delinquent fees, the City of FAR.
Yes,
And what are we going to be getting out of it? Are we going to get compensated?
Well, the county tax assessor's office, there's a $20 fee that will be reimbursed to our office for the services. Cameron County is currently doing this for every city within their county. So in the future, I believe that maybe other cities might also want this type of service. So I believe that we've been working with budget very closely along with legal from the district attorney's office. So I think it's, as you can see, well, for the county right now, we've collected over $1.8 million. So we're ready to say that we've got very much experience to also provide those services to the city along with the county.
Judge.
Yes.
Let me go over some of the concerns, issues that we noted during our review. One of those is the payment due date should be 30 days from the receipt of the invoice. Another issue is the question of whether or not the city is going to be required to make payment for any denials in which the city subsequent dismisses the case or no collections were made. So those are the questions that we have, and I don't know if you want to address those, Paul, at this point, or?
Well, on the ones that they dismissed, I don't think on those we'll get a $20 fee.
There'll be no fee payment?
No. If the judge makes the the decision that for whatever reason that person should be dismissed, I don't think I have any authority to challenge that. So only in the ones that they collect.
But those are the things that we suggested, Judge, to be included in the agreement to make it clear that on any denial.
I
there'll
think
be
it's
no
already
payment.
there. I believe it's
there?
already on the contract. It says, I'll just give you an example of that real fast. Here on section 4.3, it says, "Cities shall pay to the county the amount of section .702.003 E-1 fees that were collected and invoiced by the county." So anything that's being dismissed, we don't have to, only the ones that are collected.
Yeah.
So we're okay.
You're recommending approval.
Definitely, yes, I would. I think I'm ready, our staff, we're ready to, try to make sure that we work with cities to try to help them out and at the same time, bring
And our JPs are not going to be involved at all, then it'll be the city judge and FAR?
Yes, this one's strictly by the city and the county, the tax assessor office.
There's a motion, second.
well,
Excuse me. There's a motion, second, Judge. If there's a need to bring it back for an amendment at a later date, so be it.
We appreciate that, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner Palacios.
But the other comment that I was going to make, I
Let
think
me
it's...
let the auditor just make a last statement here.
Yeah, it should be noted that the payment should be made to the Hidalgo County Treasurer and her address. That way the money will be submitted to her.
Well, I mean, we have contracts with the cities and schools that we collect, so the payments are made to the county tax assessor collector, then we put it on our funds and then send it to general fund, and then we go ahead and then after that, we address it we send it to the county treasurers at that point.
So the money will come to the general fund of the county, the $20 fee.
Well, then it will be put on a reserve for the tax assessor's use, for defray the cost of our services.
That's why I was suggesting to the money be paid directly to the treasurer. That way she will deposit them into the general fund.
That's an amendment.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve item 11A. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
Commissioner
Okay, Paul.
Tito.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Item 9, our HR department.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Under 9A, the Sheriff's Department, approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period, 12/2 of 2013. To delete clothing allowance for slot 122 of $500 and delete clothing allowance in slot 166 of $500, adding clothing allowance to slot 162 of $500, adding clothing allowance to slot 193 for $500, and the approval of the revised salary schedule.
Move for approval.
Second. 1 and 2.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 10, our sheriff's office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
Richard Azuna, Sheriff's Office, Delaware County, on behalf of Sheriff Guadalupe Trevino. Under item 10A, requesting Commissioners Court approval of a finding and authorization pursuant to Article 3, Section 52A of the Texas Constitution, Section I, for the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office to purchase consumable items and imprint the Sheriff's Office logo on said items, which will serve a public purpose through our educational, instructional, and training programs. Items are introduced through these programs while promoting our educational message, helping to interact with participants, thereby instilling, strengthening, and reinforcing our partnership and commitment to the citizens of our county, Hidalgo.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, authorization and approval to apply for the Local Border Security Program, the FY14 grant with the Texas Homeland Security State Administrative Agency and the Texas Department of Public Safety.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item number 2 is the authorization for the county judge as authorized official to sign the required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under item C is 1, authorization to accept the grant adjustment notice in reference to Operation Stone Garden FY 2012. It's the third phase, and authorization for the county judge as authorized official to sign and initial the required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under number 2 is authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 3 is the approval of certification of revenues as certified by our county auditor for the FY 2012 Operation Stone Garden third phase.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 4 is the approval to appropriate the budget for the Sheriff's Office portion of the FY 2012 Operation Stone Garden Grant third phase in the amount of $141,640.81.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under number 5 is the approval to appropriate the budget for the 12 cities portion for the FY 2012 Operation Stone Garden Grant third phase in the total amount of $156,680 with 79 cents to include the following cities of Alamodana, Edinburgh, Hidalgo, La Jolla, Mercedes, Mission, Palmview, Penitas, Forest, San Juan, and Westaco for that total amount.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. All right, moving on to item 13, our IT department.
Judge, good morning. Judge, Commissioners. It's a small item, is item 13A, requesting the approval of the following claim and invoices as listed. These are the county's 1-800 numbers. We're still trying to finalize the rates with AT&T on these, so we had to put these as claims. So I'm requesting approval on 13A.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 13B is authorization approval to change the name on the wireless devices as listed. We're just changing the assigned name on 2 county-issued wireless devices.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good morning.
Judge Commissioners, item 14A for the HIDTA Task Force is authorization and approval to accept the memorandum of understanding between the Hidalgo County HIDTA Task Force and the Texas Alcohol and Beverages Commission. If I could have approval.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 14A2 would be approval of the appropriation of funds in the amount of $10,000.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Urban County.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Our first item on the agenda is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
15A2 is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking. This is 3 engineering firms for the City of La Villa project. The 3 firms that were graded were Dannenbaum Engineering with 98, Milden and Hunt with an 88, and Guzman and Munoz with also an 88.
Move for approval.
Well,
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
okay, we know who's number 1, but I'd like to find out who's 2 and 3.
Guzman.
Okay, item 15A3 is authority to negotiate a professional engineering contract with the highest ranked firm of Dannenbaum Engineering.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is on behalf of the City of Palmview requesting consideration and action to award and enter into a construction contract with Texas Cordia Construction LLC for a 2011 street improvement project in the amount of $344,169.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of 3 engineering firms for a City of Westlaco project for water and sewer improvements. The 3 firms that were rated were DOS Logistics with a grade of 94, Lefevre Engineering with a grade of 93.33, and Tetsi Infrastructure with a grade of 92.33.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Our final item is requesting authority to negotiate a professional engineering service contract with the highest ranked firm of DOS Logistics.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 16, our Head Start. Still have about 2 minutes before we start the public hearing.
We'll do it in 2 minutes. First of all, thank you for being at our Parrot Fair. It was a great success, and your presence really meant a lot to our
That was a very nice gathering.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The first item is the 2014 Office of Head Start Monitoring Protocol Review Questions. We are having a federal review. We have not been told exactly when. We're anticipating it'll be, of course, in the new year, because we don't have very much time left in the end of this year. And you have the questions and the answers that would be required of you in terms of an interview. And they will be interviewing the Commissioners Court as a grantee board. And that's just information. Letter B is discussion and approval of one community representative by each member of the Commissioners Court to serve at the Hidalgo County Head Start Program Policy Council for a 1-year term according to 45 CFR Chapter 13, 1304.50B1-B7. And we're asking if Commissioner Palacios is ready to make an appointment. Okay?
Judge, I would recommend to appoint Pedro Garcia, Pete Garcia from San Juan.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
You said Pete Garcia? Okay.
I'll get you the
Okay.
correct.
Is that
Thank you.
Pete, the former school board member?
He would say former, yes, board member, PSJ.
Thank you very much, sir. Letter C is discussion and revision approval of the 2013-2014 Training and Technical Assistance Plan and Calendar for Policy Council and Grantee Board. This year, we have a calendar where each month we're going to be presenting small training sessions or short training sessions during our Policy Council's meetings. You're invited to be a part of that anytime, or if you prefer to have those sessions individually for yourself or for your administrative assistants, we'll be glad to do that. And this is to become very familiar with our 10 systems that we operate under in Head Start. And so we would like approval of this calendar. The Policy Council has approved it already.
Action.
Yes, we need action.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And the last item is discussion approval to declare obsolete the attached list of items and transfer the items to the County Surplus Department for proper disposition.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving from Head Start.
All right, at this time, we're going to move back to item 12. 12A, convene a public hearing to consider public comments concerning the amount of mandatory payments required to be paid by paying hospitals for the fiscal year 2014, and how the money derived from those payments is to be spent.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. My name is Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. Sir, I just want to go over, before we get into the hearing and in reviewing, I want to go over a couple of things. Again, this is for our Hidalgo County Health Funding District, which Commissioners Court acts as the board. And this was pursuant to Senate Bill 1623, which I need to make real clear for the viewing public that this is a fee that was levied by the state legislation under 16 Bill 23. It was specifically addressed Webb County, Hidalgo County, and Cameron County for those hospitals and those counties to be able to maximize the matching funds available from the federal government, CMS, to make sure that we're able to capitalize on getting those revenues from the feds to help our indigent healthcare program, our DSREP programs, and even to some degree our medical school programming.
Do you have a list of these hospitals and how much they're going to be assessed?
Yes, sir.
to
We
each one of them?
have the hospitals for Hidalgo County are the Universal Healthcare Hospitals, which are McAllen Medical, Edinburgh Regional, Edinburgh Children's Hospital. We also have Doctors Hospital Renaissance.
But do you have a written list? Because we're not going to remember all this.
I could get that for you, sir. I don't have it with me. Do we have a copy of one with you? We'll get one for you. I don't have it with me right now, sir, the list of hospitals.
And that list will have the amounts?
We could get that, sir. We could get that. So the purpose of these hospitals was for us to be able to, under 1623, to be able to levy a fee on those hospitals. Again, for public sake, this fee is not levied on the residents. This is specifically to the hospitals in Hidalgo County. So this is not a property tax, because there's some confusion with this. So this is very clearly levied towards the hospital specifically, and it's based on the revenue that they generate from a given year, in this particular year, 2010. And at that point, we would come up with a percentage that would be reviewed to be collected by the county, and that money would be used to be multiplied to send to CMS. At this point right now, what we're looking at is a couple of things. We're looking at, we do not have the final figure from the state on the direction we want to go with this, because there's capitations involved, and those capitation rates are set by CMS and HHSC. We're looking at a range that would be recommended between 2.7% to 3.5%. That would be the range that would be recommended to this body to review. The final figure I do not have with me now, because we're still awaiting some additional data. We're waiting for that as well. What we're looking at is there's $1.2 billion that we're looking at revenue from the membership hospitals that are involved with this program. However, like I said, we're finalizing and trying to get that final number. One of the things that we have time in our hand. We didn't have time the first time we did this. This time we have a little bit more time, a lot more time actually, where once that number is generated by the board of the funding district, they have up to 120 days to collect those revenues from the hospitals. So at this point, I'd like to ask Carlos Zaffarini, representing the hospitals, to come forward and give a quick presentation on this, and then we will pursue with any hearings or questions that may be available.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners, Steve, Mr. Guerra, and Ray. I think what Eddie commented on is exactly what we're working on. He asked me to come down and give an update as to where we are. We're still working with the state to finalize exactly what everything's going to look like. We don't have any final recommendations to the county, and certainly Eddie and I have been in communication about exactly how it could potentially work. Obviously, it's the decision of you all and not us. We can only say, yes, we support, or no, we don't support, and ultimately you vote on this. But I think the emphasis has to be placed on the fact that if the rate is approved, for the first time, we'll be able to actually access the delivery service reform incentive payments that has been made available to the county. We lost about $300–400 million in the first year because we didn't have the local provider fund in place and missed out on the service enhancements that other communities were able to take advantage of. Finally, what we worked on in the last 6 months is convincing the state of Texas to give us a second shot and give us another shot at accessing and implementing these delivery service reform programs via 3-year projects. As opposed to the original $800 million was intended to go towards 5-year projects. The state and feds finally came down and agreed that 3 was fine. We're in the process of implementing it, and then obviously Eddie's going through the ranking process to determine which projects are the most beneficial to the indigent care population in Hidalgo County. Each of the counties on the border region participating or benefiting from Senate Bill 1623 is going through a similar process. And as soon as Eddie kind of gets comfortable with what the final number is, I think the next step would go to Mr. Eufrasio so that he can evaluate the different levels of mandatory payments and then work with Mr. Villarreal to make sure everything is set up and structured correctly. I think Eddie's
So
right.
we're not ready to act on
No,
it
sir. No,
at
sir.
this point.
We're still waiting on the state on a few other things, but Eddie asked me to come down. We'd like to get something done in December if possible.
As I understand it, the hospitals are going to get together and make that determination as to what to recommend.
Well, I think we're there. I think it's, the hospitals are there, and I think it's just a function of what projects you all want to look at and fund.
And Eddie, what kind of administrative fee did you negotiate?
Sir, the part of the law is, sir, there's no negotiation. The law is clear on it. The law has a $20,000 fee along with some administrative costs, but it's minimal. They actually designed the law that way. Yeah, that's just the way it happens, sir.
All
But
right.
what we're looking at, just for you to know.
Eddie, hold on.
Yes, sir.
It's a public hearing. Does anyone in the audience desire to make any comments?
Did I understand you a few minutes ago? You said this fee would not be passed on to the public, it would be from the hospitals?
That's correct.
Have you ever seen a hospital that was charged something that it wasn't passed on to the patients?
Well,
I could answer that, actually. The law is very clear. Within Senate Bill 16.3, in the law itself, it makes it very clear that they cannot pass it on to the patients of the residents or customers of the hospital. It cannot. And if it is found to do so, the penalty to the hospitals would certainly be grave and more than what benefit they would get from passing it back to the patients. It's not cost efficient for them to pass it to the patients when they have so much to risk by doing so.
And who's going to be watching that? Who will be?
HHSC, Health and Human Services Commission.
anybody else want to make any comments?
And I think that's a very fair point and question that has to be addressed very carefully. I mean, the statute was specifically designed to do that, and what we've seen in a number of states, for example, Pennsylvania and Arizona that have implemented this, the difference between what we're doing here and what they're doing in some of the other states is they're not actually putting it into projects like expansion of primary care. They're actually just they're avoiding the expansion. Arizona actually expanded coverage for children, so they're the first ones to do something a little different, and it's all financed by a similar mechanism. I think next session, when we come around to address Senate Bill 1623 and its renewal, there'll be an additional effort to try and find ways to expand coverage for patients.
All right, thank you, sir. At this time, we're going to, if there's no other comments, we're going to close our hearing, public hearing, and move on to item 12A1B. There's no action, I understand. Is that correct?
That's correct. So there's no action on that item. Consideration
What about
possible.
C? Any action on C?
No, sir, no action on C.
And on D?
No action on D as of yet, sir.
All right, move on to 12A2.
Discussion action including limited to healthcare funding district expenditures. Sir, the only thing I want to bring up is just to give you an idea, what we're looking at for FY3, which we already started in October, through FY5, total of $385 million worth of dish rep programs and support to the community and services in the hospital. So what we're looking at for FY3, which is this year, October through September, would be approximately $84 million. So, I mean, that's significant amounts of funding that would come to South Texas to assist with this area. So that's just for your information. But under item 2, there's no actions are to be taken.
All right.
And then under B1, sir, indigent healthcare services, there's no action unless you have any questions or comments, sir.
Very good, sir. You took care of your items.
Have a good Thanksgiving, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Valdez, can we go in executive, right?
Yes, sir, we can. Yes.
I'm going to have to go to that meeting.
Okay, then yes, I would suggest that we go into executive session. We do have some items.
At this time, we're going to move on to executive session. would entertain a motion pursuant to 551071072 to proceed to executive session. Need a second?
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. It's 10:43.
Thank you, Commissioners. Under open session, 22A, real estate acquisition, no action. 22B, pending and/or potential litigation, no action. 22C, San Juanita Saldana et al. Versus Hidalgo County Elections Administrator, there's no action to be taken today. 22D, Adriana Mora is next of friend of Brian Mora Valadez, incapacitated versus Hidalgo County, there's no action to be taken today. I'll bring that action item for next week. 22E, County versus MERS, there's no action to be taken today as well. And 22F, claim of Luis E. Escobar. Commissioners, I would like Settlement Authority to make an offer in the amount of $194.45.
Second. Aye.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. There's no more action on the agenda.
Move to adjourn?
No.
No.
You still have to be back to 17A.
17A.
That's right.
Look at
Smell the turkey already.
OTJ.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just one item, Vista Ridge Acres Phase 4. It's a request for reimbursement in the amount of $40,500 for the installation of 27 septic tanks. The Health Department has approved the request. We're recommending approval for that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Aye.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Good morning, Commissioners. Erica Zamora here on behalf of Commissioner Hector Palacios, Precinct 2. Item 18A, approval of interlocal agreement between the City of FAR and the County of Hidalgo to install check valves inside a storm sewer pipe in the city, in which storm sewer pipes empties into the South Flood Water Channel for the South Fork Drain Project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
18A2, in accordance with Section 791.014 of the Texas Government Code, requesting approval of the Interlocal Cooperation Agreement project to assist the City of FAR in the installation of check valves inside a storm sewer pipe in the city for the South Fork Drain Project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sergio.
Morning, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget and Management. Item 19A is discussion, consideration, and authorization to maintain TCDRS plan provisions for plan year 2014. The retirement rate for 2014 is going to be 10.89%, and the funds, that increase is a 0.39% increase from last year's rate for the 2013 rate, and has been accounted for in the county budget. Requesting approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 19B1 is discussion and action for the Economically Disadvantaged County Program application and affidavit for the FM 1925 Road Project, CSJ 1803-02028. Requesting approval.
Steve, can you read all those items?
The way the agenda is posted, yes, you can.
Requesting approval from items 1 through 5. And that will be for the,
You're going to need to read each one, though, Sergio.
okay. Requesting, number 1 was already read. Number 2 is going to be for the EDC application and affidavit for the FM 1925 road project from 10th Street to McCall Road. Item 3 is for the EDC application for North Alamo Road from FM 1925 to 0.5 miles north. And item number 4 is for the EDC application and affidavit for 11th Street project from 0.78 miles east of FM 493 at the drainage ditch. And item 5 is for the EDC application and affidavit for Shapen Road from 0.25 miles east of FM 2061 at the drainage ditch.
Move for approval.
Sergio, is number 3 lacking something? You said to half a mile north of 1925?
Yes, 0.5 miles north of 1925, yes, sir.
There's a second.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for item 1 through 5. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 19C1 is approval of appropriation of funds for fiscal year 2013 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, funds in the total amount of $56,980.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Vanjie Garcia for Marty Salazar from the Purchasing Department. 20A1, requesting approval of change directive number 1 in connection with the repairs and renovations, first and second floors to the former administration building from contractor vendor D. Wilson Construction Company and is recommended by project architect Alcocer Garcia Associates with authority for county judge or court member to execute document.
Valdez.
Second.
Judge, Commissioner, there needs to be a correction made on that particular line item.
Yes, Marty and I spoke to the architect over the telephone this morning. The backup document will be revised for the funds to come out of the bidder allowance instead of a purchase order increase.
Which Valdez?
Valdez.
Valdez, did you get a hold of
Jose or Wilson or
Wilson or
Alex?
Not get a hold of Wilson. What we've done, Commissioner, is set up a meeting for tomorrow morning with Wilson and Prodigy to discuss the issue with respect to the plans, whether or not they have been forwarded. My understanding is that the plans were going to be forwarded today to Mr. Wilson, but that still doesn't alleviate the issue that came up with respect to why today versus yesterday.
but the plans in question are for the second or third floor?
I'm sorry?
What plans are we talking about?
The construction plans
For what section?
for the first and second floor, if I'm not mistaken.
Commissioner, we have paid 100% of those construction documents, and we paid that based on the fact that the purchasing department has a CD that contains those construction documents. So apparently, purchasing department has construction documents already, at least a CD of.
A CD?
Well, can we take action on this too?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, move for approval.
There's a motion.
With that correction, right?
With that
There's a
correction,
correction needed there.
yes.
There's a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
20A2, presentation for discussion, consideration, and applicable action for engagement of professional consulting services provider in connection with securing funding from settlement BP Deepwater Horizon Restoration Project, including but not limited to the following options. A, exemption from competitive bidding requirements from under Texas Local Government Code, Chapter 262-024A4, a professional service to negotiate an agreement.
Move for approval.
Second.
Yes.
I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
Thank you. Just from a public viewpoint, I see here an application for an award which may technically be within the realm of possibility. However, the claims program that BP has set up is over a year and a half old. They've paid over $12 billion in claims. The procedures are very well defined, very specifically, including for government forms and everyone else. There's in the background material for the agenda, which furnished the information that the consultant hired would only be on a contingent basis, which to me means we're still giving away part of the funds. We have very competent staff, and I'm not at all assured that perhaps we could not file this claim ourselves with competent people and do a good job. I hope it isn't a situation where you have to pay the piper if you're going to dance, and we're really looking for a political advantage in putting this together. I would think in a program that's this mature and with the cooperation of the people who are processing these claims, we very well might be able to process it without a consultant. I'd certainly like to see more specifics about the whole program before you'd vote to hire the consultant. Thank you. Just as a member of the public, I question the advisability of using a consultant for this purpose. Thank you very much.
Benji, I think it is my understanding that what purchasing is seeking at this point is direction on how to procure the
Yes,
services, right?
that's what I was going to
It's not so
clarify.
much action on
Yes.
any one of these here.
There's two options, whether to exempt or that's under A or B,
I'm sorry,
procure
Benj,
a professional
I need to
consultant.
interrupt you. There's a motion and second on the floor right now. There's only discussion.
Can't go into the other options.
I'm sorry?
There's a motion second on the floor. According to Robert's rules, you have to have discussion on that motion second, not
Okay.
any other option,
Oh, can I be part of the discussion, Steve?
as long as it pertains to item 19A2A, the
Right.
exemption.
Right.
Only thing we're discussing is the exemption right now.
Like I was saying, I think the purchasing department, my understanding is they're only seeking guidance at this point
Yes,
as to which one of those two methods
exactly.
to use.
With-
Right.
So it's to offer the board, the
That's what you
commissioners,
can't talk
Okay, so all we're hearing right now is item 22A.
A,
Exempting.
yes.
Okay. You got a motion and a second.
I don't think that's what you need. right?
No, I need to announce both of them so you all can make a decision which one.
Yeah, but that's
which-
item B. That's item B.
That'll be item
We're not
B.
on that item just yet.
Oh, no.
We're on item, we're going through the process of exempting at this point in time.
No,
Well,
Commissioner?
no, excuse me.
No, the
No,
item, excuse me, the item, they presented two options.
Right.
What they're asking is for
It's one or the
direction.
other.
Either
To
A or
select-
B. So it's up to the court to decide whether you want to go with A or B.
There's two options, Commissioner.
I get it. I see it now.
Okay, so I need to announce both of them, and then you all decide which option you want to select.
Okay.
Okay, option B is procure
When you
a
withdraw a
professional
motion,
consulting
you wanna withdraw your
services
motion?
contract by
And I'll withdraw my
formally
second.
I'll
publishing.
withdraw that motion.
The motion has been withdrawn. Do we need to vote on it?
No, withdraw the motion and the
I'm
second
going
also.
to withdraw my second as well, just to discuss the
Continue.
options.
Okay. B, procure a professional consulting services contract by formally publishing, advertising as a solicitation for a request for proposals with qualifications for same. Now, you need to make a decision. Either A or B.
The original motion was for A, but that was withdrawn, so what is the pleasure of the court?
Well, let me ask a question here. This goes back to a presentation that was done where I believe Berlanga and.
Yes.
Yeah, last week.
Okay.
Yes, that was done back on November the 12th, where he made a presentation and he announced that Nueces County had hired another firm. So based on that, Marty put that other option
Let me
to be
ask
considered.
another question. Is this time sensitive at this point in time? And we have 3 members of the court right now, and we don't know the wishes of the entire court
We
at
can
this
bring
point in
it,
time.
I think we can bring it back.
I think it would be wise to bring it back.
Okay, no action. Next item.
Next item, 28.3, presentation for the purpose of bid and contract to the responsible vendor submitting lowest and best bid received as detailed in tabulation sheet contained herein, meeting all specifications and/or requirements for bid title, Hidalgo County, punched and drawn biaxial geogrid reinforcement material.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
28.4, 430th Judicial District Court requesting approval of the following claims, invoices with ASG for monitoring services provided to the 430th Judicial District Court with the authority for the county treasurer to issue payment check after review, audit, and processing procedures are completed by the county auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
28.5, acceptance and approval of agreements as listed detailed below for monitoring services with ASG for the duration of term for each of the agreements, including the continuation of services through the life term of the equipment in place by user department, with the authority to execute and signing of agreements by county judge or court member. And I have under A, precinct 1, B, precinct 4, C, tax assessor and collector, and D, the 430th.
Move for approval.
Second.
All the items.
Yeah, on all the items, A through D.
There's motion second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
28.6, acceptance and approval of work authorization number 4 with an estimated cost of $4,900 as submitted by ARC Gutierrez Engineering Corporation for Gearhart Drive Road and Drainage Improvements Project through contract 12-314-0129.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
20B1, acceptance and approval to purchase the following listed heavy equipment through Hidalgo County's membership participation with National Joint Power Alliance, also known as NJPA, and by board cooperative purchasing as follows. A, 2 new 2013 Doosan loaders with standard equipment for total not to exceed in the amount of $318,544 with H&V equipment through by board contract 424-13 through assigned requisition 247512.
Move for approval?
Second.
B, I'm sorry.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
20B1B, 2 new 2013 JD77G motor graders for total not to exceed in the amount of $532,752.43 with Doggett Heavy Machinery through by board contract 424-13 through assigned requisition 247508.
Move for approval?
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
20B1C, 2 new 2014 CAT model CT660 dump trucks with standard equipment in addition to the additional specifications for total not to exceed in the amount of $238,164.44 through the National Joint Power Alliance contract 060311-CAT through assigned requisition 247523.
Move for approval?
Second with a comment. I just want to thank AC Quiet for obviously jumping at the gun. I know you have a big demand. I know you're criticized on getting equipment, but I know you definitely need it. And anything else you need, let us know.
Well, I appreciate your support, and I know it's been a while since we've had some
New equipment.
good equipment there, so hopefully we'll be
Well,
able to service.
If anybody has the highest demand, is at precinct number 1. So I'm glad to see you getting the equipment you need.
Thank you very much.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Commissioners, for the record, I would like to let the public know, because of earlier comments, in the motor graders, we have 6. 2 are always down, okay? But we have a 91, a 95, 2 97s, a 2001, and a 2006 motor grader. That's how far back we go with the equipment. On the loaders, we have 2. One is salvaged already. The other one is running on fumes. The last one was purchased was in 2002. On the trucks, I'm glad to say today that in this past 11 months, we have not spent 1 penny in hauling services. Thanks to commissioners for their help. I know we got 3 belly dumps from Commissioner Palacios the first week we were there.
That's precinct 2, right?
Yes. and I know precinct 3 and 4 have always been there to assist us in hauling some of the materials that we need to haul. Now, with the purchase of these 2 additional trucks, we will have 7 dump trucks and the 3 belly dumps which we're going to keep, right?
Wow. They used to belong to precinct 2.
But last year, the precinct was spending $30,000 to $40,000 a month in hauling services. We have avoided that. So I just wanted to bring that up. You guys, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments.
Okay, 20C1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code, Section 262-024A4, a professional engineering services, geotechnical, and construction materials testing.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
B, presentation of scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by CC Commissioners Court of the firms graded and evaluated through the county's approved pool of professional engineering services, geotechnical, and construction materials testing services for as-needed basis for various precinct projects in precinct number 2.
Move for approval?
Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Authority for the Purchase and Department to negotiate a professional engineering services, geotechnical, and construction materials testing services contract with the number one ranked firm of Robert Kisner for as-needed basis for various precinct projects in Precinct 2.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
20C2, requesting approval to rescind action taken by Commissioners Court on September 24, 2013 on Agenda Item 40850, including the cancellation of work authorization number 4 is requested by Godinez Communications under Contract C11-117-0802 and agreed by Precinct 2 due to the vendor's workload schedule and the inability of delivering the task services by the scheduled timeframe as detailed in the work authorization.
Move for
So
approval.
the vendor didn't do
Second.
any work, Benji?
Monday?
The vendor didn't do any work?
No, sir, he didn't.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
20C3 pursuant to review, 20C3A pursuant to review by legal counsel, DA's office of Hidalgo County Procurement Packet Legal Notice, paragraph number 2, requesting action to waive formality, missing signature on bid form, including the authorization to permit the signing of same by vendor Holchamont LTD in connection with Hidalgo County Precinct Number 2, project title Equipment and Maintenance Facility.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner, there's an issue with funding on this particular item. I think we lack, I don't know.
We can discuss that under B.
So on the next one?
Yes, under B, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay? It's 20C3B, presentation for...
Excuse me.
I'm
There's a
sorry.
motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. 20C3B, presentation by Project Architect ERO. Architects recommending Commissioners Court award the base bid with alternates 1, 2, and 3 attached herein to the responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid, Holchamont LTD, in the total amount of $1,585,000, which includes alternates 1, 2, and 3 for the construction project of a new 2 equipment and maintenance facility located in Precinct 2.
I think items A and B are related, right, Sergio?
It's,
Yes, they're related. One of those regarding the
yes.
signing of the document. Item B is actually the award of the bid.
Okay.
We're requesting that that get approved, subject to an appropriation that's pending for next week. So we will be bringing back an appropriation of funds to complete the funding of this item. However, we are requesting that it does get approved, subject to that appropriation.
So that would include subject to funding?
That's what,
Okay.
Move for approval, subject to funding.
Second.
So, Commissioners, so you're approving item,
A.
item A and B subject to funding?
Item B.
No, no.
I
Item
believe
B.
item A was already
Item-
acted on.
Item B, subject to funding.
The funding.
And so, and the only reason I'm asking is because it says here presentation by project architect. So there is no presentation?
No, it's just the wording, the way they used it. There's no presentation.
What is the
Yeah,
presentation?
their
of the
recommendation is to approve it.
Hello, I'm David Iglesias with ERO Architects. It was just to present our recommendation for the particular contractor.
the way it reads, Steve, can we take action? That's the question.
I just want to make sure
My
that.
understanding, Mr. Crane, is that the actual
Well,
contract will be
the
brought back.
presentation by the architect was just made as far as your statement about awarding alternates 1, 2, and 3, correct?
The base bid would.
That's your presentation.
Okay.
And now you're taking action upon awarding the contract to this vendor.
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that the language is correct. So, okay.
Covered. There's a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. 20D1, request by Hidalgo County Auditor for acceptance and approval of specific additional services agreement for a proposed amount of $3,750 as submitted by Arbitrage Compliance Specialist under current contract E13-139-0515 for completion of arbitrage compliance computations for years 2004 and 2007 tax notes as required by the United States Treasury Internal Revenue Service for the tax exempt debt as detailed under Exhibit A.
Any questions from the auditor?
Any concerns?
Shouldn't be any concern.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
20E1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code 262-024A7A. Need
Move for
approval for
approval.
that?
Second.
There's a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
20E1B, acceptance and approval of a sole source declaration with RT Lawrence Corporation for the mail deposit processing system and the software license agreement and total support, system support service with said sole source designation remaining in effect as long as the tax office possesses and utilizes the hardware and software commencing upon Commissioner's Court action.
Move for approval?
Second.
There's a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
20E1C, requesting authority to purchase, the purchase of a new mail deposit processing system, including software license agreement and total support, system support services to assist in the processing of tax statements within the Hidalgo County Tax Office.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a second.
Aye.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, that's it.
No other items?
There are no other items, and there is no need to go back into closed or open session, Commissioners.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Motion,
There was
second.
no action on any, Valde?
I'm sorry?
There's no action on any of the open sessions?
There's
Just
no
one.
action under 23 and 24.
194.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.